Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do the strawberry block. Let me get my, oh, I gotta turn my power strip on. Sorry, normally I set this up beforehand, but I don't know what I was thinking. There we go, that's a little bit better. So we're gonna make 4 of this block right here. So we're gonna lay that to the side. Well, you're gonna make 4. I've already done 3. I didn't think you needed to watch me do them, so, or you know, all but 1. So I already did 3. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay this. Now these are pretty small, and honestly I didn't mark them when I was just doing them, but you're just gonna lay that corner to corner and draw your line. But also you can do it just fine without it. Well, I don't know what you can do. I guess I have a lot of faith in you. You're going to lay those on the top corners. These are your 1-inch squares. Corner to corner. Oops, sorry, let me move that. My box of old bobbins I need to use up there. Let me just set them back here. All right, now these are your bottom ones. You're going to do the same thing. Corner to corner. Well, maybe. I didn't even go all the way. And then you want them, when you lay them out, you want them to form like a circle. So I've done this 2 different ways actually. My first one, these white squares were a lot bigger. And I'll show you that one. My first one, I did them bigger. And it looks like this. The second one, I did them this way. And they're smaller. So these pieces are bigger. I'm not sure which one I like better, to tell you the truth. But I did it 2 different ways because, well, I did. Alright, so you're just gonna, I'm gonna slap a pin in these only because we have more work to do. If I was just going over, when I did the other ones, I just took them one by one. I didn't pin them, I didn't mark them like I said, I just did it. But I want these to stay in place for now. And again, you just drew a line corner to corner and you want it to go in a circle. Like you wouldn't want it like this, because if you saw that, then I don't know what you'd do with it. So we'll pin it right here like this. Lay that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now these I did cut them correctly this time at 14.5 inches long. And I'm going to sew this. I already did it on one, so I'm just going to pin it for the other one here. You're just going to sew. You can do it the way I did it before, or you can do it this way, which might be what you were doing anyway. You're just going to pin your 2.5-inch square to either side of it, and we're going to do 2 like this. I already have the other one done, so it's already at the sewing machine. It's actually what I've got on there now. We're going to lay that to the side. We're going to need that whenever we go in and out of our, as we chain piece. That's what it's called. These are 2 3-inch squares. Yeah, 3-inch squares. So this one we're going to make 2 half square triangles. So we're going to line this yellow line on here up corner to corner. This is a it's a 1/2-inch ruler, so if you line the yellow part up, then the other one is going to automatically be, I don't know what's, my husband hit my camera and I'm just trying to get it back the way I had it. I don't know, we'll see. So you're going to line that up on the corners, and you'll just draw a line down on either side of it. And that will be your diagonals, or your sew lines that is 1/4 of an inch from the middle. And we will pin that. And, oh, I covered up my pins. We're going to sew those, turn that into 2 half square triangles that we will then trim down to the right size. I had some laying around here. I don't know what I did with it. All right, let's go to the sewing machine and sew all this up. There we go. We're going to start with this one because it has the most pieces to be sewn. See, I also just lined mine up with the diagonal seam tape there because, well, it's great. I'm actually going to, no, I'm not. I'm going to do this now. We're going to just keep going through till all of our pieces have been sewn down on all of our lines. I probably shouldn't have done that one piece in there at this point, but I already did, so whatever. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and turn my iron on so it's ready to go. So see, it's not completely perfect on my lines, but it's okay because I cut it a little bit bigger, which is what I like to do. I'm going to sew down this one. These aren't even good to have pinned. This one I'm just going to twist around. If you're not comfortable with that, by all means do not do it. But this way it gets me. All my pieces will be done as soon as I sew this last one here. Right. I'll head back over to the sewing machine. That's where we're at, people. We're going back to the pressing area. All right. These are gonna just go up. We're gonna iron these open to what side? To the green, I think. We may have to redo it, but you know, whatever if we do, right? All right, let me move that real quick. What I need to do now is cut this one apart. You're just going to cut it corner to corner. And if you line that up, it should line up with a 1/4 inch right on your stitch marks. Cut it a little off, but you know, whatever. Now we're just going to put this ruler at the 1/4 inch line, or the 1/4 inch line on your stitch line, and cut these off. Now these pieces here I will put in for my crumb quilt. These pieces are going to go to stuff another pillow, which I haven't made yet, but you know, we'll get there. We'll just lay those to the side for now. Now we'll get the iron back, or the mat back. We will press these open. Alright, I was pretty excited about this one. That's why it's so early in the month. These we're going to press to the dark side. And then we'll have to trim these down to, I actually forget the size. I think it's 2.5 inches. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm going to take these over here while I do that. I actually already had one done but this one was too small, so I went ahead and made another one. Ooh. Just threw that on the floor. Awesome. I knew it was going to happen actually, but well, I don't know how to fix it. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. So I'm actually only going to trim one because I am going to use that one. This one I had in my scrap quilt. So we're going to take this and we're going to trim it down to 2.5 inches. So we're going to line up the diagonal line as close. Let's see if this one's better. Yeah. See, I'm not always that great, but you know, whatever. I mean, I'm not always, everything doesn't always line up. So you just have to roll with it. And it's not like those are wasted. They will go towards my crumb quilt. And it's going to be beautiful because it's going to have all these different fabrics that I have used on all these different things, and my kids' pajamas and the Harry Potter quilt, the old man quilt. I still haven't posted a picture of the Harry Potter quilt yet. And the reason I haven't done that is because I haven't made the pillowcases. I know. It's a struggle. So now we're going to lay it out. These are our side pieces. This is our middle. And our leaves, I guess we'll call it, go that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this over. Now, normally I would just go to the sewing machine and sew this. But since you're with me, I'm going to slap a pin in it. Then I'm going to do this side. I'm just going to slap a pin in it. That's a lie. I'm going to do this one. Just because it's next in the row. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew this one first. And you will see why. So if I sew this one first, and then this one, I guess it would have worked the other way too, but whatever. This is what I'm doing. Cut that off and that off. Then I'm going to fold this open, and I'm going to grab that same white piece and just lay it down here and sew it right along with it. Now we'll just cut it loose. I don't have another piece to go through. We're just going to use this. Now we'll fold it open. The white goes to the top, just like that. And now I'm just going to sew this side too. Now we'll go iron it all up and sew it together on the bottom part. Let's do this one first. All right. So we're going to iron to the flat sides, the sides without seams, whatever you want to call them. There you go. Now we're just going to lay this together. So if you wanted these two to match up here, you would just cut this piece at 1.5 inches instead of the 1 inches. And then the white would go straight down like that, which might look good. I don't know. I don't know. This is what I wanted. But do whatever you want, I guess. So we're just going to pin it. I just laid it out in the right orientation. And we're going to pin it. And this one looks like it's all opened back up. So let's pin it, or let's iron it a little. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Okay, let's sew this one up. There's not really any seams there to line up. So you just sew down through it the way you pinned it, obviously. Straight as you can. Now we're gonna iron this one open to this side because it has less seams. Okay, so now, where are my other strawberries? Here they are. Also, I kind of think this kind of looks like tomatoes. I don't know if you see that, but I kind of do. So now this is going to go just like this. Let me see. Yep. So now I already sewed these two together. So I just have to sew these two. And the only seam I have to line up is this one, which I do fold one of those over then. Which, you know, one of your seams there. And I'll pin that. And then we'll pin right there at that seam. There's only a seam on one side, but so I'm going to sew this down through, and then we'll iron it open and we'll sew it to that, and then all we have to do is put our borders on. So let's head on over. Whoops. This one didn't line up. This specific one here, didn't line up like I wanted it to. All right. Cut the threads off. We're going to iron it open to, you know, whatever side. Let's iron it to this side. Actually, that's a lie. We're going to iron it to... It's not a lie. We are going to iron it to this side. Just so we can nest them. So now, we're just going to... Oh, that's all kinds of messed up there, isn't it? There we go. Good enough. We're going to line up the middle seam. And of course, my outer two are exact opposites. Or not outer two, but, you know, next two. We'll line them up as best we can. Not really a big deal for me. Whatever. And then one at the end. Ouch. Pins hurt, people. Pins hurt. One looks crooked, doesn't it? But it's okay. Not all strawberries are straight. Let's pop a pin in that. Now we're going to head over to the sewing machine. And sew right down through. Sorry, just have to straighten it up there. Sorry, my hand's in the way. I just have to hold it. It's not working out for me, I guess. All right. Now we just have to iron it open and put our borders on. Oh, man. There we go. We're done with this. We can lay it to the side. We're done with this. Let's get it out of here. Iron this open. It does seem a little crooked, but it'll straighten out in the quilting, or it won't, and it'll be a crooked strawberry patch, which, you know, not bad. All right, it's all I don't know. Now we're just going to add our shorter borders to opposite sides. So we're going to pin at the end here and pin at the beginning. And pin in the middle. And then we're going to do the same to this side. Pin at the back end. And at the beginning. And this is where it might not line up. And just in the middle. We're going to slap a few more pins on this one. The first one lined up pretty good. I'm not sure. Maybe I trimmed something wrong here. I don't know. It's okay. All right, let's head over to the sewing machine and sew it up. Let's see if we can just spin this around and sew it so I don't have to use a starter or an ender rather. Let's trim them apart back there. There's no problem with starters and enders, just, you know, I don't want to use one right now. Also, if that like overage back there, I'll show you. Like, let's head back over and I'll show you what I mean. So this right here, if this bothers you, by all means trim it off. I don't know why this camera keeps going blurry. I apologize for that. I'm not sure why it's blurry. I hate that. Iron these open. I did get all my other ones quilted. I was behind, but I got them all quilted. I actually have them attached too. If you need me to go over the attachment again, let me know. I mean, you could also go back and watch the Christmas one. It's the same process, but I can go over it again. So now we're just going to line up our cornerstones. We're going to pin at the seam and over here on the side at the end. So I can run that straight down through. Then do the same on this side. Pin one at the beginning. And then in the middle. Middle, not middle. And one here. And here. All right, we'll flip it around and do the same. We are almost done. Going to do the same with the cornerstones. I do enjoy seeing all the fabric. I'm not sure if I should be doing that, guys. I wouldn't. If you have this mat, don't necessarily do what I do. If you're not willing to buy another one, I guess. But for me, I like using it like that sometimes, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to pin in the middle again. And again, I'm going to go based off of this line here. So if that's going to bother you, see, once it's quilted, it won't bother me. Nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to know that stuck over. It's not going to bother me one bit. but feel free to trim it. Let's head over and sew these up. This quarter seam guide I got off of Amazon. I think I linked it in one of the videos. We'll see about doing it in this one, if it's something you're interested in. Let's do the same thing again and bring this one around and just hook it on here as best we can. Again, if you're not comfortable with that, don't do it. It's your sewing room. It's your quilt. Do what you want. I'm going to cut it apart now that it's on there though. Y'all ready to see it? Again, I've just done the crosshatch on all of the blocks and then just hooked them together, and I've got, well, this will complete the whole second row, so we are halfway done, which is exciting in itself now, isn't it? And it's going to be reversible because our back, oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I don't always bring you with me. Because our back is also seasonal. So it's a reversible quilt that is for your whole 2022 year. So there it is. That's the one that we did. That's the measurements I gave you, which I think is my favorite. That's why I cut it down from the first one. But again, the first one, if you want those measurements, please let me know. These two pieces are just bigger. I believe this one is 3 and this one's 2 and this one's 3 inches, but I can't be sure. I'd have to look back at my writing. But anyways, there's the one that we did. I'm calling it Strawberry Patch. Let's get this out from under there too, so it lays flat. Maybe it'll lay flat. It'll lay flat once it's quilted. It's fine. I don't know why it's puckered there. Maybe I just need to iron it a little. Anyways, there it is. I hope you make it and love it, and I can't wait to see yours. Have a great day.